Welcome to the official world of Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, the heart of Dubai, the soul behind its poetry, and the vision that touches every corner of this golden city. Here, words are not just ink and sound. They are emotions written by a man who carries both the weight of a crown and the gentleness of a poet's soul. The Crown Prince's Heart is not merely a title, it's a journey into the unseen chambers of Fazza's spirit, where love, loyalty, and legacy breathe in harmony. Sheikh Hamdan's words have always moved beyond language. They travel through time, carrying whispers of the desert, the call of the sea, and the heartbeat of Dubai itself. His poetry is not meant to impress, it's meant to awaken something sleeping inside us all. Every verse he shares feels like a bridge between power and vulnerability, showing the world that true strength doesn't come from authority, but from the courage to feel deeply. Behind the royal smile and the golden skyline lies a man who writes with sincerity, not spectacle. His poems reveal what cameras cannot capture: the stillness of his thoughts, the purity of his intentions, and the silent wars of his heart. In every word Fazza writes, there's a lesson about life, about love, about the unspoken pain that even kings carry when the lights fade and the world goes quiet. The world has heard his voice in countless ways, through his leadership, his compassion, his sportsmanship, and his poetry that stirs the soul. But the truest version of Sheikh Hamdan lives in his verses. When he writes about love, he does not speak of fantasy, but of the reality of giving your heart without expecting anything in return. When he writes about life, he reminds us that even amidst luxury, the greatest treasure is peace within oneself. His words touch the world because they come from truth. Fazza's poetry carries the rhythm of his heritage and the melody of his humanity. Whether he's speaking of Dubai's golden future or the ache of missing someone who once held his heart, his voice remains steady, noble, and full of grace. Every poem feels like a window into a heart that belongs not only to him, but to everyone who has ever loved, lost, and dreamed. In his poetry, there is always movement, from the silence of the desert to the hum of the city, from heartbreak to healing, from solitude to understanding. Each line feels like a journey across emotions that only a few dare to explore. Sheikh Hamdan doesn't just write poetry, he lives it. His life, his leadership, and his love for Dubai are verses written in the sand, destined to echo through time. The Crown Prince's heart beats in sync with the people of his land. His compassion for the poor, his dedication to the youth, and his loyalty to his father's vision reflect a heart that serves before it rules. His leadership is poetry in motion, elegant, wise, and deeply human. Where others see power as dominance, Fazza sees it as service, as the ability to lift others higher with kindness and courage. He writes of love not as possession but as freedom, the kind of love that doesn't cage but liberates. In his words, love is not a story of two people, it's a connection between souls that understand the language of silence. When he speaks of loss, he speaks with dignity, the kind that makes pain beautiful and turns heartbreak into strength. That's why the world listens, not to the prince, but to the man behind the crown. The beauty of Sheikh Hamdan's poetry lies in its purity. It's untouched by pretense and untouched by pride. His verses bloom like desert flowers, rare, resilient, and radiant. Every poem carries a scent of authenticity, a fragrance of sincerity that touches even those who know nothing about Dubai or its royal bloodline. Through his art, Fazza teaches that greatness is not measured by the throne you sit upon, but by the heart that beats beneath it. Dubai's skyline may tell stories of innovation and ambition, but Fazza's poetry tells stories of love, faith, and destiny. His words remind us that even in a world obsessed with noise, there is still beauty in silence.
Many poets write to be remembered. Fazza writes to make others remember themselves. He invites the world to feel again, to look within, to reconnect with what truly matters: kindness, loyalty, and love. His writings are a sanctuary for weary souls, a reminder that no matter how fast the world spins, we can always pause and find beauty in simplicity. In the quiet hours of dawn, when the first light brushes against the dunes of Dubai, it feels as though the world is softly reciting one of Fazza's verses. The golden sky bends to his words, and the desert listens as if the sands themselves understand his heart. In these sacred hours, Sheikh Hamdan becomes one with the rhythm of nature, a poet with the pulse of the city in one hand and the breath of the desert in the other. His poetry is not written to please, it is written to heal. It reminds every soul that even the most powerful hearts are made of stories, tears, and faith. Sometimes, his words sound like confessions wrapped in elegance, the whispers of a prince who has seen both grandeur and grief. When Fazza writes about longing, it feels like he is writing for every heart that ever waited for love to return. When he speaks of faith, it feels like a prayer for all humanity. His voice carries warmth, and his eyes, when they speak through poetry, reveal a tenderness that no title or throne could ever hide. The world may see a crown prince, but his words unveil a man who values emotions more than empires. Each poem he writes is like a mirror, reflecting both the beauty and fragility of the human spirit. Through his art, Sheikh Hamdan teaches that a man is not defined by the crown he wears but by the light he gives. His verses are reminders that compassion is a royal language of its own, one that conquers hearts more deeply than any rule ever could. Every word drips with sincerity, every line breathes wisdom, and every silence between his stanzas carries a universe of thought. That's what makes his poetry eternal. It lives not in books but in hearts. The world has changed, yet Fazza's poetry remains timeless because it speaks the oldest language known to humankind: love. Whether it's love for a woman, love for Dubai, or love for God, his words always carry devotion wrapped in humility. There's an ache in his voice that reminds us how even those who seem to have everything can still yearn for something more, something real, something true, something that money and status can never buy. And perhaps that is why his poems are loved beyond borders, beyond languages, beyond generations. His heart, though royal, beats with the rhythm of ordinary lives. It feels the pain of the people, the joy of the city, the dreams of the youth. Sheikh Hamdan's world is not built only with skyscrapers, it's built with empathy. His poetry stands as proof that you can lead with strength and still love with softness. He is not just a ruler of Dubai, he is the ruler of words that comfort the weary and ignite the dream.